Hi folks, so in this video here I'm going to show you how to complete the output 7 drawing sheet, okay, on Solidworks. Now most schools might have their own template made up. This is just one that we've created in the school here, used for 5th year. So the first thing I would get you to do is you go up here to your sheet format and you click edit sheet format, and usually teachers will have this locked in where they'll have something like this. And what you would do is you would change this to, let's say, DCG student assignment 2026. And now, just a personal preference of mine, I'll do like it when it's highlighted. This year is so the sheet itself is output 7, and we would call it the concept design. Okay, so you do that, highlight it. Instead of name, you would change this up to exam number. I'm just going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for example, for now. Once again, stick with the same kind of concept. You can adjust the text and size. Here, I'm just going to adjust this now to bold. The scale will come back to in a minute. I will adjust it to bold right now, though. Obviously, change the date. So today's date is the 5th of the 1st, 26. Okay. And then it's sheet 1 of 1. Some teachers do 2 sheets here. Depends on the way you're doing your project. But when you've all that done, you would click this icon here. Now that none of that, if I click that, none of that can be changed. Okay, the next thing you want to do is you want to bring in your orthographic views of your object. So to do that, what you would do is you go over here to the drawing icon and you would click model view. Now at this stage, you would already have your model built. Now I'm bringing in a previous model that was done, say in 2023 or 24 was the year of the desk lamp. So I'm just going to use that one as an example for this video. Obviously, you would incorporate it into your soap dispenser design for this current year or whatever year you're doing, because this kind of tracks across for all the years, regardless of the object. But you would browse for the file. I'm using a construction lamp that a student has used in the past. And what I would do then is when I bring it in, the first view that's going to come in for me is the lamp there. And now, funnily enough, just as I click it there, you'll see the views that, funnily enough, are coming in for me. It's actually coming in, this student, whoever modeled it, just has it kind of flipped over backwards. So if something like that happens, it's really easy to change it. If you have it incorrectly, then you're fine. But if it comes in, you can see where obviously the lampshade is actually in the elevation, it's facing the wrong way. So if something like that happens, it's quite easy to just click this, click delete, click yes, click this, click delete, click yes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one. But what I'll do is I'll go up to the drawing and I'll click projected view, click this guy and pull it out here. Now I have the elevation. Press escape to deactivate the tool, go drawing again and click projected view. Actually, what I'll do is I'll click this guy and click delete. And now I'll go drawing and click projected view. Click this guy, pull it out. I can go to the left now. And now I can go down to the plan. And that's the way I want. So if something like that happens to you, which can often happen to students, I'll go out here at a 3D angle and a 3D angle, and it'll keep going until I press escape. Now, what I want to do is I want to decide which view I want to use. I'm going to stick with this one. So I'm going to delete the one here on the left. Click on it, click delete, click yes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this guy over here, pull this guy over here. I want to change the scale of them. So these guys here on the outside, you can grab them and hold them like this. Click and hold, and you can move them. Okay, these guys here though, I want to change the size of them. So if you click on this, come over here to where it says scale, use custom scale. I'm going to change the scale from 1:5 to 1:3. We'll see what it looks like. Not bad. I might have to change this guy independently because I've played around with that a little bit. Now that's after messing up there. So I'll click on that, click delete. I'll go up here to drawing and click projected view. Okay, and that's kind of fixed there now. Okay, so 1:3 doesn't look too bad. I'm going to actually stick with that size. I think that's okay. And I think it's appropriately spaced on the page. But the next thing I want to do, and it's often known as an additional view, you want to put in maybe what's known as a section view. if they're asked for it. And most years we do usually put in a section. A section is going to be taken as a slice through it. In this case, I'm going to take a slice through the middle of the elevation. So I'm going to slice through this, make sure it goes right in the middle there, tick the green arrow, just pull it out like this. And what it's doing is it's showing the internal structure, in this case of a lamp. And there we go. So now that I have the section view put in, I'm going to pop in one of these guys here, and I'm going to do, just thinking, I'll pop in this one. Now that's my pictorial view, but I want him in color, so I'll click on it. I'll come over here and click the color, and you have a couple of color options. You can either do it with edges or without edges. It's your choice. It kind of comes down to what you think looks best. In this case, I'm actually going to go with the edges. Quite happy with that. I think that looks okay. So now that I've that done, sometimes you want to make sure that the A's aren't going for the section above it. So I'm actually quite happy with their positioning there. That's okay. I'll just pull the label of this underneath. And now I've got my pictorial view there. So you can see here what we have is a pictorial. We have a section. And now maybe I want some what's known as additional detail views. I'll click on this guy. I'm not going to use him. Click delete. I always bring in more than I need at the start and then kind of tidy it up as I go along. Now if you go to drawing, I'm going to put in a detail view. Now to put in a detail view, maybe I want to show detail of the kind of bolts. So I'll click here. Do a little guy like that. There's the detail. I'll pop the detail in maybe around here. Go anywhere. I want to scale it up a bit though. So look, if I click on it, you can go over here to the scale. It says 2:3. I'm going to say, I'm going to go 1:3. 1:1. There we go. A little bit larger, and it kind of brings in that guy a little bit larger. Okay, I'm going to pop this guy up here. Happy with that there. I want to maybe do another detail view. So to get in another detail view, I'll go drawing, detail view. What else could I show the detail of? I could maybe show the detail of this guy. And there we go. Now it's a little bit large. Looking at that now, actually, I don't think that's an appropriate one. I show the detail of the neck. And there we go. Once again, pop it in there. A little bit small. I'm going to say 2:1. Make it double the size. That looks a lot better. And now, so what you'll see here is we've shown skills of how to use the detail view tool. We've shown how to use the section view tool. We've brought in the views, the elevation, end elevation and plan, and we've got our pictorial. Now what I want to do is I want to bring in some annotation. So if we go to annotation, click on note, start typing, click. I'm going to put all capitals on now. There's our elevation. Then I'm going to come over here. This is going to be our end elevation. It'll keep prompting you to put it in. If I just click down here, this is our plan. It'll keep prompting you to type. And this guy over here is our pictorial view. And press escape to deactivate your tool. Now, the only thing I would do here is I would double click the elevation. You can obviously change the size of the text. You can change the font. But I'm just going to make it bold. I'm quite happy with the font. Same thing with end elevation. Double click it, make it bold. You always want to try and keep it centered, but with the section view in the way here, won't worry about that. I am going to take the section label from there because I am putting them on the top. So I'm just going to try and keep them all hopefully in line with each other. And this one here, the plan, double click it. Once again, let's make it bold. And then pictorial view. And once again, make it bold. So there we go. There is elevation, end elevation, plan, section view, pictorial. We've got our detail views. If you want to adjust the size of these texts, you can. So you can click this. If you wanted to type in and get rid of A, B, you could just say bold there. What you'll notice is when I type in bold, the label will change over here. If I want to make that a bit smaller, you can click it here. Then you go over here to where it says document font, untick that, click font, change maybe from 6.35 down to about 4. Just click yes. You'll see that will come in a little bit smaller there. Just think it looks a bit neater. We'll do the same with this guy. That's gone down as well. Perfect. So AD, that was that one. So double click it. I'm going to change AD to neck. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on neck, untick document font, change the font size to 4. There you go. You can see that's gone down there. So that looks quite good there. I'm actually quite happy with that. Now, the next thing we would put in after doing all that, we want to make sure that we have our hidden detail on. So if you click the elevation view, come over here and turn on the hidden detail. And what will happen is all these guys here, elevation, end elevation, and plan, have all come in as hidden detail. The section view, not necessarily. I'm going to click the section view and I'm going to turn off the hidden detail in that guy. Just go line view, just on the section. But these guys do need to be in hidden detail. The next thing I want to do is probably put in some dimensions. So go annotation, smart dimension. General dimensions you always want to try and get are overall length, width, and height. Okay, so to get the overall height, sometimes if you've got a curved surface, it can be quite tricky to pick up. So a little trick to do is if you go to the sketch tab, click a point, put a point right here at the top, right there. Then go annotation, smart dimension. Click the point at the top. It's because the section's in the way there now. So apologies there now. I'll actually undo that point. So I'll go sketch, get a point. The section's in the way, so I might have to do it off a different one. So I'll try and find the highest point around here. Actually, in this one I don't need it, but you can put in a point. We'll put it in just for the... There you go. I've the point in there now. Go annotation, smart dimension. Click the point. Obviously come down here and select the lowest point on the base. And there we go. Now I'll pull out the dimension out here to the right. It's saying for me 294.19. I don't like the 0.19. I want it nice and rounded up. Click OK. But when the dimension is selected, if you come over here where it says tolerance and precision, where it says 0.12, if you change that to none, it'll round it up or round it down. Okay, so now we've got that dimension. I'm going to put in some other dimensions. I'm going to put in the circular base here, 99.5. So instead of that, you can round it up, or you could go to 0.1 of a decimal place. You could dimension the length, maybe the arc here actually, radius of 9. That's okay. I might do the thickness here, from here to here. That's 13. Pull it out there. Okay. Next thing I'll do is dimension the side length here. It says 14.43. I'm going to round that up. Click it over here. Click none, or round it down, I should say. So there's our 14. Next thing I'll do is I'll try and get a dimension of this point to this point. There it is. Try and get in that. There we go. And once again, I'll round it up or down. Diameter 87. That looks nice. Might put in an angle in here. Between here and here, 110 degrees. Perfect. And now we might put in some individual heights. So I might do the height of the base. So click the bottom line. Click that line. 25. I might put in this height from here down to here, 31. And possibly then put in the height of the wrench. From there. Up to there. There we go. And once again, and round it up. Okay, not too bad. I put in some other dimensions. 165.36. I'll click on that and round it up or down. Maybe put in an angle between here and here, more than likely 60 degrees. Perfect. And then possibly get in a distance dimension from here to here. There's the 110. And trying to think now, anything else we could do? As much as I can, I try not to dimension the section view. Maybe the distance between here. Put it down here like that. Okay. In regards to that, I might get in. Have I got the thickness? We already have. There we go. And maybe a little bit of thickness from here to here. Now that's more than enough dimensions. So now that you've the dimensions all done, what I would like to do now is I want to confirm the scale. So if you go back and you click the elevation, our scale was 1:3. That should match it on the sheet because the main scale on the sheet is just going to be off the orthographic drawing. So click sheet format, edit sheet format, and change the 1:4.5 in this case to 1:3. It doesn't have to be a round number. You can obviously bring it down to a point of something. One thing I do is just try and always pop it right in the middle, just for the, I suppose, the overall look of the page. So there we go with the elevation, end elevation plan. You've your pictorial view, you've got your section view here, and you've got your detail views here, and they're all the things that we've been asked for. Now, the only other thing that is required, there is no, in output 7, you do not have to do an exploded view. You do not have to do an assembly. If you want, by all means, absolutely fine, but they are not required. Okay, but what is required is photorealistic views. So at some point, you'll obviously have got your photorealistics. In the older version of SolidWorks, you would use something called PhotoView 360, or in the newer versions, it's SolidWorks Visualize. So depending on what one you would have got your images, and I've left a little space down here to put in some images. To do that, at this point, you'd hopefully have them saved somewhere on your PC. I'm just going to go Insert. You would click Picture, and you'll see mine. I have Render. Here we go. Click Render 1. Click Open. Now, sometimes they might come in with a black background or something behind it, and sometimes you click from File. In this case, if it doesn't come in with a black background, you're fine. But if it does, you might have to play around with the transparency element here, and often it means click from File. But in this case, I don't, so I'm just going to bring it in. I'm going to scale it up. It kind of gives a little photorealistic. Now, I got these guys just really quickly through AI. It just saved me a bit of time. But this is the same concept. Click the green arrow. I'm going to bring in another one. Insert. Picture. I'm going to go for C2, obviously. You can see it comes in there. You can scale them up appropriately. Take the green arrow. To activate them again, all you do is you double click them and you can scale them up and down appropriately. Now we're going to go Insert Picture. Going to go C3. It's just obviously a different view of the object. Looking at it from a different angle. There's my render there. I'll pull this guy over here. Insert, Picture. And these were very quick ones, obviously taken by me, just for the purpose of the video. And what I will do is I'm going to pull it right over here just to maximize my space. Obviously, look, in the day when you're actually doing this, you'd probably try and make them all roughly the same size and things like that. Not sure if I have many more after that now. Let's see, 5. Yep. Yeah, that was just one. I'm not even sure if I rendered that one fully, but okay. Mightn't even be rendered properly, but it's in there for an example in this video anyway. I'll pop in one more. Insert, Picture. I'm not even sure. You'll see this one 6. I think that's the same one actually. Well, something similar. Okay, and what you could do here is you click the text, Control C, Control V, grab the new text, I'll put in a new heading and I'll say photo realistic renders, and maybe highlight it in, put it in the middle there. There we go. And that is a very effective layout for an Output 7 drawing sheet where we have our elevation, end elevation and plan appropriately scaled in hidden detail with our dimensions. We've got our pictorial view here. We obviously can alter the size of it. From the pictorial, we created our two detail views showing a skill there. And we have our section view showing the internal structure of our lamp in this case, or whatever it is that you're creating. And then we have a lovely little photorealistic collage here. More than enough of what's required and what's asked of you for Output 7. Okay, so there you go, guys. I hope you found that helpful.